Welcome back. Recently I was reminded of the recent phenomenon known as virtual autism. For those who don't know, virtual autism is a condition that exhibits autistic-like traits due to excessive screen exposure. Of course, that's the simple way to put it. In truth, it is a direct result of parents neglecting their children and allowing technology to raise them. These children have poor, if any, social skills, experience language and developmental delays, cope poorly without access to technology, and hold almost no attachment to their parents as a result of the neglect. But as you can guess from the title, I'm not only going to be talking about virtual autism. Because in my observation and opinion, parents of autistic children, not those with virtual autism, also neglect their children to an extent. I am speaking both about parents who have little to no care for their children. I cannot remember the exact word, but they show no initiative in managing their symptoms or seek therapies, and those who are extensively involved in their children's lives. I am mostly speaking on younger children, as the few public autistic adults with level 2/3 autism whose parents still care for them are relatively more cared and advocated for compared to their younger counterparts. That and their entire lives aren't displayed to the world, something I feel that is also a problem in the online autism community. It is my opinion that we should never share videos or information online about those who cannot understand or consent to such things, as this increases the danger to them and their caregivers, even if they feel that it would be useful to share. Notice how I said online. You cannot control what people online do with these videos, and even if you were to delete them, there is no guarantee that these videos are not still being passed around. Sharing amongst fellow parents is trickier but significantly less dangerous in my opinion. It's not completely safe, but at least you are somewhat aware of the types of people you are sharing this information with. Let's move on. Virtual autism is typically seen amongst children 3 and under, or at least that is the ideal age to catch it. I believe this generalization is part in due to what we now refer to as pandemic or lockdown babies, babies born or created during and in the current pandemic and who were raised during a time when there was no schooling or daycare or ability to take them outside without risking their health. These children are neglected, point blank. They have little to no human interaction despite the parents having been with them basically 24/7, are often pushed off to other people or have technology shoved into their hands. And we aren't seeing this only in small children but older children and teens as well. The pandemic did a number to our children, but it also exposed how many parents weren't actually being parents and relied and continue to rely on others to raise their children. These parents often do not want to care for the children, refuse to even interact with them in a way recommended by doctors and scientists so that they can develop and maintain skills. And we also saw a number of parents start to expose their children on the internet, in a higher frequency than what was previously seen via Facebook and YouTube. So we have parents that refuse to parent their children, defaulting to technology to keep them occupied, and as a result these children are developmentally delayed and hold no attachment to their parents. These are things teachers and caregivers have been expressing for years, but it is becoming more and more prevalent. These delays appear as autistic traits: limited eye contact, delayed speech, repetitive behaviors, short attention spans, impaired social skills, irritability, challenges in transition, difficulty with emotional regulation. Now, moving on to parents with autistic children. I will be talking about personal observations and what I have seen online. Many parents of autistic children absolutely refuse to interact with their children, and much like the parents of those with virtual autism, simply give them a phone or tablet. The days of TV seems to be a bygone era, and even get upset when the child wants to interact with the parent or expresses a need. Many parents of autistic children yearn for their children to express anything, even if it's as simple as demanding food, as for some children they were never capable of that before. And with the emergence of virtual autism, it has me wonder, how much of our autistic children is their autism and not a consequence of parents' over-reliance on technology to provide them with social interaction and stimulation? I am in no way condemning children who use high-tech AAC, as that is a valuable tool. We are not talking about using technology as a tool, we are talking about how parents simply do not want to raise their children. Neglect of those with autism is nothing new. In some places it is still a common practice as a form of therapy. But this neglect is different from locking your child away. This is being right beside them and choosing to not be involved in their lives. As always, leave feedback in the comments. Goodbye.